Eetu? A2? Hey, who? We're not sure of this goaltender's name, but he got his first NHL victory tonight. Let's talk about it.
Hey everybody, this is John Scott, former Sharks All-Star MVP, and you are listening to another Teal Town USA podcast.
Wait, where's Puck Guy? Where's Landy? What? It's not Sunday. Fuck am I doing here?
I don't know. I mean, I'm here. I'm here so I don't get fined.
There we go. Oh, it's a 6-1 victory for the Sharks in Anaheim. But before you start planning the parade and etching names on silver shiny things, the 30th team they beat the 32nd team. So it is what it is. Makiniemi gets his first NHL start. Not the worst. Not the worst debut we've ever seen. Was it up there with Nolan Schaefer? Could be debated. But the Sharks came into this one with one win in their last 8 games. The Ducks had previously won, or I should say the Ducks won their previous 2. However, both in overtime against San Jose. So you thought that, will they get the third? Especially because in those first 2 games, you had the first NHL hat trick from EK65. His first, or I should say the first hat trick ever by a San Jose defenseman. Either way, coming in a loss, but it is what it is. Ian, San Jose wins the game, but can you get that excited about beating the pants off the worst team in the league?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you look at a few things,
it would have been really bad if they lost.
Right. Like what? Yeah, exactly. I mean, although I think if you're looking to, if you're on Team Tank, that's a team that you'd want to shed some points to. But no, I think, I think, you hit it right off the top. Like Eetu Makiniemi comes in, plays a really good game. I mean, that's really positive, playing in his first NHL game after being pretty solid for the Barracuda this season. I'd be excited about that.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that there's any way that Makiniemi doesn't start the next game coming up against Arizona?
If James Reimer can go, then I think James Reimer probably goes back in net. But no, I mean, if it's between him and Kaapo Kähkönen, I would start Makiniemi again.
Well, and that's a great point because earlier today in the pregame this morning, David Quinn, head coach of the Sharks, we all know, did say that Reimer is, slowly but surely kind of day to day, was not penciling him. I got to look at the schedule here if you don't mind for a second. So Tuesday at, hosting Arizona, man, a lot of extra days this coming week.
So, well, the Sharks have played more, I thought they had played a lot more games than teams in their division. They played more games than almost every team in the NHL. So their schedule had to lighten up.
Yeah,
somewhere.
this week is going to be the come up. This is what this is when everything's going to get balanced out. So, at Anaheim tonight, then they're off for 3 days. Then they host Arizona. Then they're again off for 3 days. Then go down to LA and then have a pair versus Calgary at home. So. Yeah, even with 3 days, I'll tell you, David Quinn this morning did not sound the most confident that Reimer would be available to play against Arizona, perhaps at LA. I think the Sunday game versus Calgary is more likely. So, yeah, I'm thinking right now, and I'm only quoting what David Quinn has earlier said, is whoever stops the puck more is going to get the start, and right now that's Makiniemi.
Yeah, I think, look, Kaapo Kähkönen's had a really rough year.
Oof.
And I think that's putting it mildly. For a goalie who, and I've said this on the show before, a goalie who I was so excited about coming into the season.
You and me both.
Totally off the Kaapo Kähkönen boat. And I'm just like, oh, 2-year deal. Good. Because that's about as long as he should be here at this rate.
Dude, when you start making Martin Jones look good, you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, I mean, and look, has the team in front of him done him a ton of favors? No. I that should be stated, but they haven't done James Reimer a ton of favors either. And James Reimer yet continues to perform when he's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm so off the Capo Kakkonen train right now. I mean, look at if he can find his game and go back to what we saw at the end of last season, I think that'd be great. But no, I think Makiniemi definitely deserved another start and another opportunity to play again.
Dude, and I was steering that Capo ship last season.
We all were, man. Like we were all so high on him. I mean, I think Jerk is the only one that's still on the boat.
Well, I was gonna say, I feel like, wasn't Jerk like the one guy who was kind of like piloting the Hill ship? Like I felt like he was the one guy who was like, I don't know, Aiden Hill has some, he had a bad season.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't want to put words in
do it
his mouth without him being here. But I know, like, I think he might be the only person still on the Kakkonen train at this point.
Oh, you're right. So let's get into a couple of things at the beginning of the night. So CJ Cease, after getting a look Wednesday night versus Vancouver, he hits the bench because Lorentz is good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Harrington starting a second straight game. I know, it's funny because like Cicek, I thought he did some good things, but he also did some really bad things. And when your coach is saddled with the task of going Cicek Harrington, I mean, dude, is that not a Sophie's choice?
Yeah, I mean, look, I like Nick Cicek, but that call up there's a lot of call ups that just kind of confuddle me. CJ Cease is another guy. I like CJ Cease, but when you look at like who was coming out of the lineup and you're pushing guys up and down and stuff, like CJ Cease was an interesting call up for me as well. But I don't control these things, so I cover the team that is, and the team that is, I mean, both guys unfortunately not playing tonight unfortunately for them, but I mean, good for them to collect that NHL money.
Evidently, our buddy Shang saying Makiniemi says this time, knowing that he was playing, his family and friends at home in Finland are up to watch this game, even though they're 10 hours ahead. So good on them. What is it, like what is that? That's a 3 a.m. start, I want to say. If it started 7 here, oof. No. That can't be right. 5 hours? No, 5 a.m. start. 5 a.m. start. I'm bad at
early.
Math. Yeah, it's goddamn early. So on this one, Meyer opens up the scoring off a great pass from EK65. I mean, just tap in backdoor from Meyer. I'll say relatively early because it happened just after the 10-minute mark of the first. But at that point, you're kind of like, all right. And it felt like early on the Sharks had some wheels, even though they were kind of behind on the shot counter.
Yeah, I thought they looked good early on. It was hard, right? Because I tweeted this out during the first period. It's like, hey, Ian, what happened in the first period? I don't know. I'm too busy trying to video capture the Barracuda letting in 100 goals. But yeah, like from what I saw in between, like capturing those things to get them on the Teal Town USA account. If you follow us on Twitter, if you don't, that's where you should be following us. And yeah, but I thought they did start well, even though the shot clock didn't really show it at first. But I thought like the Sharks came to play tonight. I thought they were pretty good the whole way through.
It seemed like they were kind of juiced early. Maybe it was a case of, look, we haven't been good in front of Kakkonen lately, and we're going to make a statement and give this, this kid Makiniemi, something to like. He won't during the post game be able to go, the Barracuda were better in front of me. I don't know what was just happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So after that, in the first 10 minutes were again kind of lackadaisical. Anaheim had more of the looks. And then for some reason, around the 10-minute halfway point of the first, the Ducks had a really hard time. I don't know what the Sharks were doing, but they were making it very difficult for the Ducks to gain the ozone. And if I remember correctly, I think during the last 10 minutes, the Ducks went 7.5 without even getting a shot on goal. So at that point, you have to be sitting there going, all right, again, 30th versus 32nd, but hey, Sharks are doing what they're supposed to.
I'm surprised. Like, I didn't think the Ducks were going to be good. Like, I thought that the Sharks and Ducks would be fighting for the bottom of the division, but I didn't think the Ducks would be this bad this season. Like, I'm surprised by how bad the Ducks are. When you consider, like, they have pieces. Like, their blue line's kind of garbage. But they have pieces that I like, and I like a lot. Klingberg? I mean, it's Klingberg, Fowler, and what else?
I mean, but okay, but tell me about the Sharks. It's Carlson. Who else?
Well,
you know what I mean?
That's true. But I mean, like, yeah, I agree with that. I don't know. I mean, I haven't watched enough Ducks games to really say how much of an impact Klingberg's had there. But if you look at that roster up and down, like there's exciting pieces up front.
Hello, Trevor Zegras.
Right. Like, again, a goalie who I'm concerned about now in John Gibson, but who has been good in the past. I just wonder if he's just like, if he just needs a change of scenery and maybe not seeing so much rubber.
Oh, dude.
But I don't know. Like, I thought they'd be bad, but then like they're really bad.
I feel like I've been saying this for like 2 seasons now. Like, how the hell Gibby hasn't pulled the whole trade me right fucking now card? I have no idea.
It'll come.
I mean, you would hope after getting yanked tonight after 2 periods, you would think. Laurel coming in hot on the super chat. Laurel, love you so much. Great win, great shows. Love you at Teal Town, USA. Love you, Laurel.
Love you back. Absolutely. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. I'm glad to see you.
Been a while. Is that what it is? I need to make an appearance on After Dark for you to show up? Nobody wants that except for you, Laurel. So the another weird thing for tonight was Sturm seemed to bow out late in the first, wasn't there early in the second, eventually showed up and
scores a goal.
Yeah, I was going to say, and then scores a goal, and you're like, wait, what? What? Oh, he was just conserving his energy. That's all it was.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
He's like, I will come out here and work if Carlson gets a power play. Oh shit. Okay, now I got to go out there.
Gotta go. Damn it. Yeah, I mean, Nico Sturm's a guy who I like.
Love him. Best offseason pickup in my book.
Yeah. I've been pretty happy with that one. But yeah, obviously he took that hit, which I didn't, and I still, even though I know he's missed time and that sucks, but like I still don't have a problem with the hit that put him out.
Nope, me neither. Same with the Nieto hit from Dahlin.
Oh no, that was clean as fuck.
Yeah, but he's been out, since then.
Yeah.
But
it sucks. Like, you don't like the outcome, obviously, but it's a contact sport.
Yeah. And that's, that's one of the things that's kind of rubbed me, irked me the wrong way. It was just like, well, Nieto's been out now for a couple of games. Yeah, people take clean hits. It happens. It's like you say, it's a contact. Sport. Yeah. So
like
we're not playing very pickleball.
Fast-paced contact sport.
Yeah.
People are going to get hurt. It sucks. Like it sucks. And I'm not here rooting for injuries. And I'm not saying like it's not unfortunate that Nieto got hurt, but at the same time, like when you have guys flying at each other the way these guys do, people are going to get hurt. Like it's just inevitability.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Whatever happened, going to happen. Let's see here from our buddy Curtis Pichelka, throwing down some more quotes from the game between the Sharks and the Ducks tonight. We don't know for sure when James Reimer will be back. Could be as soon as Tuesday versus Arizona. Either way, the Sharks will not carry 3 goalies. So could the team's brass possibly put Kakinen on waivers as LA did with Peterson, and keep Makiniemi around.
No.
Now, see, and I would agree with you because and this is something we're going to talk about on the Pucknologist on Sunday, but to me, in my head, and tell me if I'm wrong, but if this Sharks team was about winning games, they're not calling up Cicek. They're not waving Svechnikov and then having him skate the next day in a game.
Right.
You know, it's like, no, they'd be
what
calling,
a weird thing that was, right?
Dude.
Like, Svechnikov going on waivers, and then look at. I think that's something that a lot of people were surprised. Like, oh, well, wait a second, didn't he go through waivers? And I think something like the one thing about waivers that I think most people get it, but for the people that don't, like, just because you go on waivers doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to the AHL. That is an option. Once you clean waivers, you can go to the AHL, or they can keep you up. Like, you can put someone through waivers for the sole purpose of, saying, well, if someone picks them up and we lose a contract off the book, great for us. But you don't have to go to the AHL. It's an option after you clear waivers. Now,
does it
90%
make any
of the
impact?
time,
Let me ask you this: does it make any impact to their salary? If they're waived and they clear waivers, even if they're back the next day playing an NHL game?
no, especially not for Svechnikov because he's on an NHL. He's on a one-way deal.
There you
so
go.
He
Okay.
makes the same money regardless of where he plays.
See, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, so Svechnikov going through waivers is weird because it's like, if you weren't sending him down, why put him through waivers in the first place? But again, like, the Sharks don't have a lot of wiggle room, right? Because if the Sharks, for example, made a waiver claim, that would put them at 50 contracts, which means that until they remove a contract, they can't take on any more contracts because you have a 50 contract limit in the NHL. So but it seems like a weird guy to play that game with.
Yeah, I don't.
In my opinion, like it's a big. Is Fetch a 2-way deal? Oh, well, there you go. I thought he was on a 1-way deal, but he's on a 2-way deal. But even still, like, as long as he's playing in the NHL, he's on a. He's getting paid his NHL money, regardless of if he clears waivers or not. If you play in the NHL, you're on.
I got to tell you that there's been times on the Pucknologist where I'm just like, I likes me some Svetch. Like,
yeah, it was a weird player. Like I said, I don't have an issue with him. I think the Sharks have a lot of that guy, but it didn't make a ton of sense to me.
I've
for him
liked
to
him,
be
for the most part. He's had some bonehead games, but I think you can say that just about every goddamn player on the Sharks right this season. I mean, maybe, Carlson and Meyer are your exceptions. But
yeah.
Oh
shit, he is on a 2-way deal. I'll be damned.
There you go.
$350K. Wow. He's on a nice one.
Our buddy Darren Stevens at Shark Stats on Twitter says, at age 23 years, is there a Canadian conversion? No, still the same? Okay, cool.
Still the same.
23 years, 234 days old. Eetu, depending on your pronunciation. Makiniemi is the youngest goalie in Sharks history to win in his first NHL start. The previous record holder, guess.
Nabokov?
You're close. Same era.
Toskala.
The other one. Went to Calgary.
Oh, Mika Kiprasov.
Yeah, Kiprasov. 24-164. April 8th, 2001. Also at Anaheim.
Huh.
Yeah, it's weird how that shit works out. So let's finish up with this. So like I said, Meyer opens up the scoring. Beautiful tap.
Yeah.
Tap it in. Just tap it in. Scott Harrington. I'm not even sure what the hell that was. I mean, a blue line slapper. It was
a lucky deflection and
off Fowler.
Yeah, and obviously it changed the directions. Gibson's waiting for the shot to go one way. It goes the other way. It goes into the net. Tough break for Gibson. I'll take it.
Yeah. Not a great night for Fowler, by the way. But on that one, all of a sudden, Meyer, 2-point night. Gotta love it. Following that up, the Sharks do get a power play. Erik Karlsson with a slapper that you can write home about. I mean, an absolute blast from the blue line makes it 3-0. That gives Karlsson his second point of the night. Also, that one gives Hertl his second point of the night. So you got, in the first 3 goals, Meier, goal and an assist. First 3, Meier, goal and assist. Karlsson, goal and assist. Hertl, 2 apples. And you're going, yeah, feels kind of good, especially because the Karlsson one came on a power play. Power play does seem like it has come on scotch. Now, granted, the bar has been set kind of low.
Yeah.
But, you know, and again, 32nd team in the NHL, but you got to feel like, all right, they're up by 3 goals. And if you're on one side of the dividing line, you're kind of like, and here's where Anaheim comes back because the Sharks can't hold a goddamn lead. Or you're like, hey, Makiniemi could be the difference in this one and be like, bitches, I want a shutout. And hey, you know what? He played for it for a long stretch. And I feel like Zegras got lucky in the midway of the second period.
So the angle that they showed that goal from, I don't know. Like when I first saw that goal, I'm like, well, that's, you know, he's played a really good game, but that's not a good goal.
Not a good goal. Curtis Pashelka called it a soft goal. I thought it was too. I thought it was a soft goal, but maybe Shimmick screened it just a scotch.
And that's what I can't. You couldn't tell from that angle, like because of the angle you're watching the play at. You can't really see if Shimmick's screening Makiniemi. So you could give Makiniemi the benefit of the doubt there. I think it was a soft goal, but I mean, other than that, like big deal. So you know that's going to happen. Kid playing his first NHL start against one of the best shooters in the league.
How dare you give up a soft goal when we're up 4-0?
Yeah, it's you know, like I
starting in your first NHL game.
It's a soft goal, but like, you know, does that take away from Makiniemi's night? No, absolutely not.
No. Stolars would replace Gibson to start the third. Zegras got called for interference on Barabanov. This is one thing that I did want to get into a little bit, a scotch. I gotta tell you, and follow the Teal Town USA Twitter account because we always have gifts from scoring plays and penalty plays. Tonight was some of the weakest calls I have seen in quite some time. Meier got called, or no, not Meier. Who was it? Somebody hooked Meier. And I'm like, that was a hook? Like, that wasn't even close to a hook. Like, there was some really just egregiously bad calls. Zegras getting called for interfering with Barabanov, I thought was just horrendous.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But it was another, you know, power play opportunity for the opponent where the Sharks gave up a 2-on-1 while shorthanded. And I'm sitting there going, I'm hearing David Quinn's voice in my head is that we keep making the same mistakes over and over. And tonight was another one of those, Ian.
No, I completely agree with that. You know, the Sharks, they have to be better. I mean, it seems really silly. You know, it seems like a really simple thing to say when your team is.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
where the Sharks are, but yeah, there are definitely things in the Sharks game that just it surprises me that they haven't been cleaned up. And I think some of it, of course, is going to be, well, look at some of the guys are skating on the ice. Like you have to expect some of these things to happen, but yeah, they just there's things that obviously David Quinn's harping on, and I think he's trying to fix. I think David Quinn, I think, has been given a pretty tough task this season. I think he's done okay, and I think he's made the team. This team is a lot of people are like, oh, they could have just kept Bob Boughner. You're right, they could have, but that Bob Boughner team wasn't fun to watch. This team's at least fun to watch.
See, now I want to get into it with you a little bit.
Let's go.
Well, no, it's just kind of like, okay, all right, they might be more fun to watch. I will say, though, that during the Bugner era of last year, I don't know that there are too many games that I can think about in my mind where I felt as if the Sharks had decided to say, they looked at the scoreboard and said, where's that white flag again that we need to wave? And this last week or so, I don't know, Vancouver, I felt like that kind of happened. Definitely at Buffalo, kind of at Ottawa, where it's, they played 3 games and allowed 7 power play goals. I felt as during that stretch, they were like, holy crap, can somebody do something and it not be me? And I never felt that 3-game stretch during Bugner last season. And I think there's other people that would sit there. I think they could literally make the argument that on paper, last season's Sharks team through the first 30 games, on paper, more talented than what you have now, simply because they had Burns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. The thing is, though, is last year, the one thing that Bob Bugner got, I think that if you look at the difference between like this last little stretch and the Sharks of last year, was they had goaltending that kept them in games. And this last stretch, Aaron Dell wasn't that great.
Well, he was good for one game.
He was good for
he
one
had that
game.
935 in the one game, and then the next game was
Awful.
ass. Yeah.
Right. And Kaapo Kakkonen hasn't really. He's had. I would say Kaapo Kakkonen's had one good game this year.
Well, I was. Yeah. No, you're probably right. Well, more than one, because I will tell you, I track this shit.
Okay.
As a good host is supposed to do. So I will give you this right now as I'm literally updating it on my rundown.
Mm-hmm.
Reimer's last 6 starts, 857. Ass.
Yeah, not great either, right? And I think that's
well, hold on,
kind
let
of
me
the point I
finish.
was trying to get to, though, is like the Sharks goaltending has been so deflating. Like it's been, you joked earlier about Martin Jones, but it's been that kind of deflation.
But let me finish.
Okay.
So last 5 for Reimer, 857, ass, 976. Hey now. 700. Fuck out of here. 923. Hey.
Yeah.
933. Oh, who's your daddy? Kakkonen, last 5, 750. Fuck you.
Yeah.
872. Who?
Yeah.
Shutout.
Yeah. Right.
Then,
is one good game.
Yeah, I was going to say. And then 800, 731. So, yeah, Kakkonen has one good game sandwiched between 4 horribles. Dell, for his 2 starts, 865 his last go around. The one before that, 935.
Yeah.
And then tonight, Makiniemi, 958 previous game, but only for one period and OT, 789. Not horrible, but that's one of those ones you can't hang on Mackey because of like no warm up. Didn't know he was starting. It was like he was just thrown to the wolves, and it was like, good luck, youngster.
Yeah, and I think the difference, like, I just think there's been, like, over that stretch, though, like, there was some just really deflating goals, right? And I think, like, you want to, like, that has an impact on your team. It's hard to play in front of a goalie who's just letting everything in when you don't have any faith that, like, oh, we're going to score a goal. Like, the Sharks have managed to get some offense going of late. Like, they've definitely been able to put points on the board, but if you can't put enough points on the board to overcome your goaltending, which I don't think the Sharks have the offense to do if your goaltending isn't good. I don't know, man.
Well, okay. This is something that has been bandied about. I've heard on NHL radio this week. Now, it's a fun topic to jump into based on where all the numbers are on and, what the situations are. Were the Sharks wrong to get Kakinen and jettison Hill?
No, I think with the information you had at the time, you made the right move. Aiden Hill was not good last year. Like, yeah, okay, he had a shutout and then was gone for the rest of the season. But what happened before that? Aiden Hill was not good last year. And Kakinen, yeah, the wins weren't there, but the play was. Like, based on the information you had, and that's why we always say goalies are voodoo, they made the right move. Now look at Aiden Hill, to his credit, has played really good this year. He's also playing behind the best defense in the Pacific.
Ooh, wait a minute. Whoa. Vegas has the best defense in the Pacific?
Who named 3 defensemen you would take over their top 3 in the Pacific?
I mean, it's not so much of a naming thing as it's just like they've been scorched defensively. They've been able to outscore a lot of their stupidity. You do make a great point though. LA, if you count Doughty twice.
Right. Seattle, that's not.
Right? Yeah. So I don't know.
Edmonton?
Well, you know what? I think you might be able to make a call for Edmonton or maybe even Calgary, because Calgary, it hasn't been defense that has been their issue. It's been offense.
Yeah.
So, I might play that card. This sounds like a teal tinted conversation. So let's finish this off. Later in the third, Couture would take a shot from Fowler off the leg. Hopefully, with this extended off time, when I say extended off time, we're so used to, day off, game day off, game day. From tonight, the Sharks play at Anaheim. They will come back tonight. Hell, for all I know, they're probably like putting the bags on the plane right now. They're off for the entire weekend and Monday. So I think what we're probably saying is, if you know Logan Couture's address, probably football party at his house on Sunday.
There you go.
But they're not going to play again until Tuesday at Arizona. And there is a particular person who said a few weeks ago that he would donate $50 to the Teal Town USA podcast if the Sharks lose to Arizona. So don't think we won't be talking about that on Sunday night. But the next game Tuesday at versus Arizona, then off 3 days again. So it's literally off 3 days, Arizona, off 3 days at LA. Then you got to come home, and then the next night face Calgary. And it's one of those rare silliness things where they're going to play at LA on Saturday and then play the next night hosting Calgary, then have a day off, and then on Tuesday host Calgary again.
Right.
How is it that you're going to host the same team? They're not going anywhere, but you're going to put a night in between. Oh, fuck you, NHL schedules. All right. So either way, up by 3, 8 minutes left. Probably a good idea for Couture to bounce off at that point. Bonino got an empty netter. Lawrence, piles on 6-1, and then it's 6-1. Gadjevich and Carrick go at it. Why?
Because Carrick ran hurdle.
Okay, fine.
Honestly, I'm glad, because I thought that...
You think it's the only time this season that the Sharks have actually stepped up for somebody getting run?
Well, I mean...
Feels like it.
I say he got run. I mean, it wasn't the most, egregious hit ever, but I thought it was a little bit late. And, I'm glad that somebody... Because at first I'm Hurdle looked like he was going to fight Carrick, and I'm like, what are we doing here, guys? Why are we letting... Hurdle have to fight Sam Carrick of all things? So I'm glad he didn't, but I'm glad that Gadjevich said no, and no, enough is enough here. Yeah, we're winning, and you're not going to take runs at our guys now. Like I said, do I think it was the most egregious hit ever? No, it wasn't. But at the same point, you can't just let late hits on your star player go unpunished. So I'm glad Gadjevich took a number and took care of business.
Hell yeah.
It's fine. I'm fine with it. Like there's sometimes, like I said, I'm not like fighting's dumb, but I'm not like anti-fighting. Like I think that there's still times where it has the place in the game. Like, do I like it when, you throw out your fourth line against my fourth line off the face-off and everyone fights? No, that's stupid. But in a situation like that, no, I take a number, take care of business.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Let's a couple more things. One of the best, if not the absolute best, through 30 games this season. One of the best second periods the Sharks have had this entire season, without a doubt. Just based on scoring, because it's been a shit show. Let's be honest. I've been tracking this since the beginning of the season. Right now, goals for, goals against, the Sharks are +2. Goals for, goals against, after tonight, they're still -7.
Yeah.
So if I'm calling that out as a -7, that goes to show you how bad it was a few games back. It was much worse than -7. And it's not better in the third. It's -8. So to see them score 3 in the second period with the long change and everything, and like you said, that Zegras goal,
it wasn't great, but but it didn't kill the team either.
Exactly. It's not like they saw that and like folded their tents or anything.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm fine with that, but I will say let's talk about the broadcast for a second tonight. ESPN, yikes. There was a quote during the game that said, Leah Hextall, "The Sharks are known for giving up goals in the final 2 minutes. They lead the league with 20 times this season." Well, thanks for getting everybody in San Jose on your boat. But I gotta say, dude, Leah Hextall, for all the shit that she gets, I don't mind her delivery. I think she has a smooth voice. I think she has a nice delivery. She has a nice, deeper tone, rather than being, kind of screechy and nasally and, so I'm fine. I just feel like she needs some reps, and she needs to get off of the crutch of whenever Cassie says something about somebody, whether it's a player, a group of players, or whatever. Man, Hextall has a big problem with going, "That they are, that they did."
Yeah,
they can't. That he is. It's like, stop that.
I will say this about the ESPN, like the ESPN broadcast, right? And like it's obviously
it's horrible.
It's bad.
How are they this bad?
It's super bad.
You're literally, quote unquote, the sports leader, and you're this. TNT knew nothing about sports except for basketball.
Didn't they kill it?
Yeah, exactly. I don't even get this. Oh God, what's that? Linda Cohn. Oh my God, the Linda Cohn interview. She did like 3. She did the interview with Carlson.
Mm-hmm.
She did a hit with Dallas Eakins. She did a hit with what's our coach again? David Quinn. She did a hit with Zegras, asking him about going to Disneyland and it being the anniversary of the first Michigan goal. Really? Like, why even bother?
I don't know. And see, here's the thing too, right? Like,
stupid.
I can deal with, like, look at, I hate that I even have to say this, right? but you have to say it. I'm gonna say this. Look at, I do not have a problem with women being in the box doing play-by-play, doing color. Like, this is not my problem. I just think that Leah Hextall, her individually, is not very good at it. And guess what?
It has nothing to do with the fact that she has female genitalia.
She's just not very good at it.
Yeah.
And guess what? There are a lot of men on other broadcasts in this league that are also not very good at it. So it's not like she's fucking alone in this. The thing that drives me crazy about the ESPN is just like they're just technically. There's always
during the team
commentary goes off. Commentary just turns off.
Hold on.
commentary will desync with the play.
Dude, the Timo Meyer goal, the first goal of the game, and you literally heard somebody like unplug the microphones.
Right?
And so while they're showing the replay, there's zero broadcast audio.
Right. I didn't even know the team was scored because I'm too busy trying to like get the Barracuda shit sorted out. And then I'm like, oh, apparently Timo scored. That would have been nice to like know that I need to like switch back over to that game to see that goal. So I could,
hey, you know what? As we're 40 minutes and we got to start wrapping this up, but you make you bring up a great point. No, I'm going to tell you to go ahead. You were the only one who had the horse eye on what ended up being what sounded like a complete throttle of the San Jose Barracuda. This sounded like if you had the need for speed, this game, yikes. So give us a sec to transition, baby.
Ooh, Barracuda.
Oh, how just fuck, dude. How about what was the end? 6-1?
8-3
Oh!
for the Coachella Valley Firebirds. Now look at
Seattle Kraken affiliate.
Correct.
And this was Strauss?
No. It was both.
Hold on, both. Who's the other one? Dell?
Arundel.
Oh shit. Okay, who started, who finished, and
Arundel
how bad was it?
The game. Strauss-Mann finished the game.
Oof.
Now, Coachella Valley has been really, really good, and I knew coming into this game, like I remember we spoke about this on the Pucknologist last Sunday, where I said that they were going to be in tough against this Coachella Valley team. Now, luckily for them, fortunately for them, the Seattle Kraken decided that they could not keep a one Shane Wright down in the AHL anymore because he was only on a conditioning stint. So Shane Wright gets called back up.
I think there's a lot of Kraken fans that would agree with that, but go ahead.
For sure. But for Coachella Valley, they've been really, really good this year. Really, really hot. I knew they were going to be in tough. Again, this Barracuda team is in a tough spot right now. Their blue line is being buoyed out by guys on PTOs, which is never a good situation. And look this is a team that has some offense, but I wouldn't say they're an offensive juggernaut by any stretch of the imagination. They do have some offense. So Arundel starts this game. He's completely under siege. There's a couple of goals that Arundel let in that.
After the first period, they were down 5-1.
Correct. And the shots were just something, I can't remember.
It was 17 to 4. 17 to 4.
After the first period, right? Like the play was all in the Barracuda end. So obviously, look at Arundel, not a great night for Arundel, but he got no help. Defensively, I thought the Barracuda were kind of a mess. And they weren't good. So Coachella Valley, obviously, they get up to a 2-0 lead. And here's the unfortunate thing too, because I don't think that Joey Decord, who was in net for Coachella Valley, had a particularly strong night. Jeffrey Vial scored his 4th of the season on a breakaway, first shot on goal that Decord faced.
Also had an assist tonight.
Yep. And then on the second, on the second shot on goal, Decord almost let that one in too, right? So if the Barracuda got off to a better start, maybe they get up by a couple of goals and it's a completely different game. Obviously, that's not what's happened because Cole Lind, who was just amazing tonight, came back like less than a minute later, scores his 8th of the season. He would go on to score 3 more goals this game.
I mean, dude, when you throw up a Hattie, probably a good night for you.
Probably a good night. Barracuda did get on the board in the second, though. William Eklund scored a pretty nice goal. So it was nice to see William Eklund get on the board. And then Onyebuchi got a nice goal in the third. But at the end of the day, I mean, this game was all Coachella Valley for the most part. And even after Onyebuchi scored, then there was 2 more scored.
I mean, dude, I just look at the summary and it's like first period, 1 Coachella Valley penalty, 3 for San Jose. In the second, that they traded 2 for 2, but in the third, 5 Barracuda penalties to 2 for Coachella Valley. I love the fact, though. I don't know what I think is more funny is that when I say 5 in the third, the fact that Patrick McGrath got a major for slashing 5 minutes at the 20-minute mark and a game misconduct, or the fact that to start off the third for Coachella Valley, former San Jose Shark Matt Tennyson got 2 minutes for roughing.
Yeah, pretty not a great night. Arundel played the first period, and then Strauss-Mann started the second, and then played the rest of the game. Strauss-Mann came in. I thought he did really well, all things considered. Again, the shots were pretty heavily in favor of Coachella Valley through the entire game. Again, penalty problems again. I think the one power play goal they scored was a 5-on-3, the Max McCormick goal that made it, a bajillion to 3.
Let me ask you this. Ryan Merkley tonight. I mean, Ryan Merkley is a player that a lot of Sharks fans are looking at where it's just kind of, rightly or wrongly, oh, the savior, the blah, blah, blah. He had 2 penalties tonight, a tripping and an unsportsmanlike. Both warranted?
Unsportsmanlike, I can see it. Ryan Merkley has like the best shit-eating grin in the AHL, I think. Like he is. You're like, right. Ryan Merkley has such a punchable face, and I say that with all the love in the world. But I think he has the most punchable fucking face on the team, and I love him for it. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I think. I don't remember the tripping penalty, but I know the unsportsmanlike with Colin doesn't, because that's what he does, right? Like he aggravates people. And taking Colin with him for unsportsmanlike conduct, I'll take that trade any day.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so it's a rough game for the Barracuda. I think they're going to have a much better game tomorrow. I think Strauss-Mann.
No, not tomorrow.
Oh, not tomorrow. You're right.
Sunday,
correct.
Because tonight was Top Gun. What is Health Workers?
Top Gun.
No. Tonight was Top Gun.
Right.
Sunday, if I remember correctly, is a promotion for Healthline frontline workers. So if that's the game you're going to go to this weekend, please get out there. Like I would literally be at that game if it wasn't on a Sunday night where, Jerk and I have to do our little dog and pony show. I would love to be out there to support the frontline workers. And
for sure.
So for that, when I see the Barracuda throw down their auction, I'm going to be bidding on some stuff because I would love to raise money for that cause.
Absolutely. Sunday night, they will face the Bakersfield Condors.
Yes. How are they doing
so Bakersfield
so far?
is a team that that's a winnable.
I mean, currently 8th in the Pacific. San Jose is 6th. So you would hope. I'm looking at the stats right now. San Jose Barracuda, 12 wins, 10 losses. Bakersfield, 8 wins, 12 losses. You would look at that and go, that's probably one that the Cuda should have, not to mention the fact that, again, this is something that we kind of talked about early on in this one, is it's not like the Sharks, they're done between now and Tuesday. So nothing's going to change. It's not like suddenly Bordelot and Eklund and whoever are going to get fucking called up to San Jose tomorrow. It's like, no, they're going to have all the pieces. And let's be honest, they may, in fact, if the next game is tomorrow, they may send down Makiniemi just to let him go again tomorrow.
They might. I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do. Because I think.
I mean, they'll probably give him a rest for doing what he did.
Yeah. I mean, they could send him down and they could play him again. I don't think they would, though. I think Strauss-Mann gets that start.
Sure. Well, you said Dell got the start tonight, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Strauss-Mann finished the game, but I still think you go with Strauss-Mann again.
Yeah, Mann's going to get the look. So tonight, 3 stars of the game: Erik Karlsson, what a fucking shock; Timo Meier and Makiniemi. Probably not the I don't know. It's quite rare. Well, maybe it's only if you play in Vegas, but you don't see it very often where the home team picks up all 3 stars. Like, it always feels like the local media is going to figure out a way to pick up one of their guys, but that was not the case tonight. But
How could you? Yeah.
Right? The 30th NHL team beats the 32nd NHL team. Quick, call the media. One of the things that I do want to say, if I heard this correctly, again, Leah Hextall. Again, I like your tone. I like your delivery. I just think you have a few crutch phrases that you need to get out of.
I don't. I think it's like if you asked Alexa to give you play-by-play, that's what it would sound like.
Oh, really? See, I don't have that much of a problem with it that everybody else does. But you know what? I've got a huge problem with other people, so it is what it is. But so this is something that was called out tonight during the broadcast. Is it sounded like, and let me pull this. This is something that I'm gonna have to go look up. It sounded as if they were saying that this Tuesday, and I might not have heard it right, so don't come after me on social media. It sounded like as if they said either Arizona, one of the next 3 to 4 games was going to be Randy Hahn's 2000th game. And the reason why I point this out is because I did notice in a big way. The Sharks played Vancouver on Wednesday, and I go and I download the photos from those. Dude, half the fucking photos were of Randy Hahn, and I'm going, what the hell is going on? I'm like, so we can expect that there's going to be some article about him. I don't know why, and then tonight I heard it's like, oh, the next game is going to be Randy Hahn's 2000th game, which, I mean, hello, dude. I mean, that's the coolest fucking thing ever. If it's
a milestone, yeah.
Dude, now, if that's the case, I want to look it up and is it this Tuesday when the Sharks are hosting Arizona? All of a sudden, I want to buy tickets. So I want to fucking show up and say, Randy, just high five. How you doing? Like, dude, that was me. You think about how key he was to bringing a hockey team to San Jose. Oh my God, give him all the stick taps. I want to see the documentary on Netflix, like all that shit. Hell yeah. So hopefully that happens. But,
that's the one thing I do like. I don't, it's funny because I don't really miss the Sharks broadcast, but I do miss Randy Hahn.
Yes, I would agree. Completely.
The one thing that's really annoyed me about my current subscription service is that I always seem to get the other feed for the
the
game.
B team.
So it's it's sometimes it's fine, right? I mean, you especially for this year where I'm watching the Barracuda as much as I am, and I'm watching the Sharks as much as I am. I don't get to watch a lot of outside of San Jose games, so it's nice to get an idea of what's going on with other teams through other feeds, obviously. But
sure.
Yeah, man, I miss Randy Hahn.
Oh, how can you not? So with that, I think it's probably time to wrap this one up, put a nice little bow on it. Look, the Sharks get their second win in their last 9 games. We'll see if they can keep it up again. I mean, Ian, in order to clear this out between now and hitting the halfway mark, Arizona, you would think, winnable game. At LA.
Didn't they just beat the Bruins tonight, though? I don't know. Maybe not.
That's what I'm saying. I know. That's the dude. Arizona with 4,200 strong watching.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that. And then at LA, then you got back-to-backs with Calgary. Last time I looked, decent team. And you know that Daryl Sutter would love to always beat his former team. Then hosting Minnesota, whatever. At Vancouver. I mean, dude, Vancouver just handed it to you the other night. Especially with Pettersson in overtime. Then it's like, well, Philadelphia. Well, we beat them in overtime in Philadelphia, so maybe we got a shot. But then, oh shit, we got to go to Dallas on New Year's Eve and face our Pavelski nemesis. And then you sit there and go, well, you know what makes us feel better about that is the next day we get to go to Chicago and sit on our ass. Right?
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's
it's
there's a
to
lot
be
of points
honest,
up for grabs there.
well, a lot of points up for grabs there, but I would
Like, I just mean over that schedule that you just listed. I think there's a lot of points up.
a lot of points to up for grabs. But I also feel like over the last 10 games or so, also a lot of points up for grabs. I will tell you, at the 41st game for the Sharks, Boston. That's a kick in the balls.
Yep.
Right? But then after that, at Arizona, okay, well, probably got a decent shot, but like you pointed out just a second ago, they just beat Boston, so who knows? But then at LA, Edmonton, for the first time this season, I might add, Edmonton, but then New Jersey, who saw this fucking team coming?
Not me, man. I have no idea what happened to this New Jersey
Right?
team.
But
Like,
then
I
leading into the All-Star break, Dallas. Oh, just, swapping
Ouch.
spit with Winnipeg to, lead their div.
Mm-hmm.
At Columbus. Oh, okay, there's your reprieve. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Jets too. There's another team where it's like
No, but
total
it's like
surprise.
at Columbus. It's like Columbus could, like, if there's only one other team that could be potentially worse than Columbus in the NHL right now, and it's literally San Jose. But then you have to go, it's this ridiculous road trip with the All-Star game thrown in between it. At Columbus, at Boston, just leads their div. At Detroit, remarkably better than they used to be. At Carolina, that's going to be fun facing the fellow Wookiee. At Pittsburgh, who despite Father Time is still trying to make shit happen. Then you get a week or so off. Then it's at Tampa. Well, that's a kick in the balls. It's like you're out on the East Coast and you got to fly back home, spend a week, and then fly back to the East Coast to play at Tampa, at Florida. Okay, Florida, a little bit of a fraction of what they once were. And then at Washington, and I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to put this out here. Somebody screen cap this. Screen cap it right now because this is so Sharks. Get your phones out. Screen cap what I'm about to say. Sunday, February 12th, when the Sharks are at Washington, Ovechkin is going to break some sort of record, whether it's tying Gretzky, beating Gretzky. I don't care if it's for points or goals or whatever.
Oh, it's too far away to do that.
Dude, I don't know. Have you been paying attention to how many empty netters Ovechkin is getting?
Yeah. But he's still like he is right now. He's like still.
I'm just saying.
Last I checked, he was 99 goals behind Gretzky.
Dude,
that's a lot of goals to score between now and then.
I'm just saying. You underestimate the Sharks in giving Ovechkin that many goals. I'm just saying. February 12th against the Capitals, the Sharks are going to give Ovi some sort of record-setting stat. That's all I'm going to put out there.
All right.
So, we'll see what happens. So we thank you very much for joining us after a little bit of a Friday night. Hey, now, one of those rare Sharks wins that we'd love to see. It would be great if they could figure out how to do this shit at home, but we'll see what happens.
No doubt. I feel bad because they've been just so garbage at home.
Oh, dude, what are they right now? Like 2-15? It's horrible.
Yeah, 2-8-5 at home, I believe.
Yeah. Don't want to see that. So, again, I will be back on Sunday night with you, 7 o'clock, with the one and only Hockey Jerk to deliver the Pucknologist podcast. And you know what? Last time I looked, look at that. The Barracuda are playing at the same time. So we might need to drag Ian's ass in here one more time next Sunday night.
We could do that.
I think we could, because when did the Barracuda start? Like 5 o'clock? Something
5
like that.
o'clock.
Yeah, a little early. So, yeah, I think at the end of the Pucknologist, after Barracuda ends, we could drag you in to sit there and go, yeah, if you thought the game against Coachella Valley was bad, let me tell
let's
you
hope
something.
Let's hope not.
So with that, any last words, I guess, until Sunday, Ian?
No, I'm pretty, like I said, when the Sharks do good, it's good. I mean,
So you're
what more can I
spent.
say? I'm tired.
I'm spent.
I'm spent.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. So I'm going to catch you. Hey, Ian, I have to actually, big props to Ian. And I guess perhaps to Puck Guy for going on vacation. But Ian, totally appreciate you inviting me in to have fun tonight.
Yeah, no, I'm glad. I'm glad that I didn't have to do this alone because I think Ian's solo shows are really not good.
And just
so I'm
nothing
glad
but curses?
Yeah, I don't. Solo shows are hard, man. Solo shows are so fucking hard.
They are.
So I'm glad that you were up to join me on a rare After Dark appearance.
Oh, this is cool. Totally. I dig this. This,
Michael Molasses, when they put me in the ground, when the Sharks do good, it's good, will be on my tombstone, I'm sure.
What did I miss?
He said I'm gonna put that on a plaque because I say that so much, and I'm like, it's gonna be on my tombstone. Here lies Ian. When the Sharks do good, it's good.
Well, there you go. So in case you missed it, you can catch Teal Town USA everywhere. If you missed a show, you can always hear it on your favorite podcast catcher. Always can find it on YouTube. I mean, all you need to do, just hit the subscribe button. Boom. You're going to hear everything that we do, whether it's on podcast, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn. But Jesus Christ, there's too many to list.
There is.
But, dude, like, stop. So with that, I guess I will say the next Teal Town USA podcast is going to come at you this Sunday night, 7 o'clock, the time that you're used to hearing it. Thank God. How many more Pucknologists have to take over? We'll have to kill this. So with that, at Ian Blogs Hockey, at AJ_Strong. If you'd like to follow us on social media, we'd appreciate it. If you don't want to, that's fine too. Yeah, absolutely fine. But we thank you very much for joining us tonight after a 6-1 victory, the San Jose Sharks over the Anaheim Ducks. We will catch you all Sunday night or next Tuesday, Sharks versus Desert Dogs. Good night, everybody.